Good morning, children. Today, in democratic politics, we are going to start with our first chapter, that is, what is democracy? Why democracy? This chapter builds on a simple definition of democracy. Step by step, we work out of meaning of the term involved in this definition. The aim here is to understand clearly the bare minimum features of democratic form of government, merits and demerits of democracy. After going through this chapter, we should be able to distinguish a democratic form of government from a non-democratic form of government. Towards the end of this chapter, we step beyond this minimal objective and introduce a broader idea of democracy. Now we will start the chapter with simple definition of democracy. Children, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. This is a useful starting point. This definition allows us to separate democracy from forms of government that are clearly not democratic. This simple definition is not educate. It reminds us that democracy is a people's rule. But if we use this definition in an unthinking manner, we would end up calling almost every government that holds an election a democracy. That would be very misleading. Every government in the contemporary world want to be called a democracy, even if it is not so. That is why we need to carefully distinguish between a government that is a democracy and one that pretends to be one. We can do so by understanding each word of this definition carefully and spelling out the features of democratic government. Children, we have started with a simple definition, that is, democracy is a form of government in which the rulers are elected by the people. Now, children, this definition raises many questions. Each and every word in this definition has the meaning, has some questions. First, who are the rulers? Who are the rulers in this definition? Which officials must be elected for any government to be called a democracy? Which decisions may be taken by non-elected officials in a democracy? Second one, what kind of elections? What kind of elections constitutes a democratic election? What condition must be fulfilled for an election to be considered democratic? Then, who are the people? Who are the people who can elect the rulers or get elected as rulers? Should this include every citizen on an equal basis? Can a democracy deny some citizens this right? And finally, what kind of form of government? Can elected rulers do whatever they want in a democracy? Or must a democratic government functions with some limits? It is necessary for a democracy to respect some rights of the citizens. Now, children, we will find out the answers of these questions by taking examples from different countries one by one. The first one is major decisions by elected leaders. This is one of the features of democracy. Children, a democratic government is one in which the people's representative participate in decision making process. That means the decisions are taken by the representatives which are chosen by the common people. They own a collective responsibility for all the decisions taken by the government. There are examples where representatives of the people are chosen but they are not allowed to participate in decision making process. This happens in many dictatorship and monarchy form of the government. Children, This we will understand with the help of one example. We will see the case study from Pakistan, where the government do not take the collective responsibility, where the chosen representatives are not allowed to take the decision, or they are not involved in the decision making process. Now, why Pakistan under General Musharraf should not be called a democracy? Children, as we all know, General Musharraf was a dictator, and why under his rule we cannot call a country a democratic country. The example of General Musharraf rule of Pakistan from 1999 onwards will give us one important feature of democracy. In Pakistan, General Pervez Musharraf led a military coup in October 1999. He overthrew a democratically elected government and declared himself the chief executive of the country. Later, he changed his designation to president. In 2002, he held a referendum in the country that granted him a 5-year extension. Children, referendum means a direct vote in which an entire electorate is asked to either accept or reject a particular proposal. This may be adoption of a new constitution, a law, or a specific governmental policies. Children, in August 2002, Musharraf issued a legal framework order that amended the Constitution of Pakistan. According to this order, the President can dismiss the national or a provisional assemblies. The work of the civilian cabinet is supervised by National Security Council, which is dominated by military officers, and the final power rests with them and the General Musharraf himself. During his rule, although the people may have elected their representative to the national and provisional assemblies, these representatives were not allowed to take the final decisions. Instead, these were taken by the General Musharraf and his group of army officials, none of whom were elected by the people. This condition cannot be termed as people's rule. Thus, one feature of democracy is that in a democracy, the final decision making power must rest with those elected by the people. Now, the second feature, that is free and fair elections or free and fair electoral competition. In a democracy, the ruler must be truly people's representative. To choose representative, we need a system of elections. An election could have some meaning and significance only if it is held free and fair manner. A free election is one where every person has an equal right to vote. Children, this we are going to understand with the two case studies. One is from China and other is from Mexico. Now, should we consider the elections held in China democratic elections? Are the elections which are held in China are democratic? Children, the member of China's parliament are elected by the people after every 5 years. But for contesting elections, the candidates need the approval of Chinese Communist Party called Quanguo Renmin Dai Biao Dahui or National People's Congress. In National People's Congress or the National People Congress has the power to appoint the president of a country and some members elected by the army. Before contesting election, a candidate needs the approval of Chinese Communist Party, only its member or members of 8 parties allied to it are allowed to contest. Thus, the government formed is always by the Communist Party. Now, the second case study, that is from Mexico. Should we consider the elections held in Mexico democratic elections, or can we call the elections which are held in Mexico a democratic elections? Since its independence in 1930, Mexico holds election after every 6 years to elect the president. Children, here in Mexico, the elections are held after every 6 years. Mexico has never been under the military or a dictator rule. In Mexico till 2000, presidential election was won by PRI, Institutional Revolutionary Party, as they employed many corrupt practices and unethical means to win the elections every time. All the government officers had to attend party meeting. Teachers of the government schools used to force parents to vote for the PRI. Sometimes polling booths were shifted from one place to another to make it difficult for the people to cast their vote. The PRI spent a large sum of money in campaigns for its candidates. Children, in both the cases, it does not appear that the elections have been held properly. So, these examples are not of a true democracies. Thus, another feature of democracy, that is, democracy must be based on a free and fair elections where those currently in power have a fair chance of losing. That's all for today. Thank you and have a nice day.